on this best quality practice in construction, doing it right the first time. Okay, so today we have three speakers with various background. They will share to you all their experience and best practice, what they have implement in their company and organization. Okay, before I start, I think I would like to share something about also my department about the Center for Quality Assurance and Certification. For your information, in general, it was a department where I focus on the assessment and certification. One of the topic today is about the quality. We provide the assessment and certification for quality through our QRC. So I think without the further ado, let we start this with our first speaker. I will share the little bit about his background. Our first speaker is Tuan Haji Fauzi Hanafiah. Okay. For your information, he is a general manager quality assurance in Sunway Constructions Sdn Bhd. Short name is Sankon. He joined Sankon in May 1996 and appointed as assistant manager quality assurance. Currently, he is leading the quality assurance department. So, he holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering from the Ohio State University, USA, in 1987. He is responsible in setting up and maintaining the organization quality management system in compliance to the MS ISO 9001. For your information, his main task is to assist the organization to achieve the total customer satisfaction by delivering the quality services and product to internal and external client, and also responsible to promote and continue improvement initiative for the organization with with a vast experience in the construction. I think I would like to pass this session to Tuan Haji Fauzi Hanafiah. Please, Haji.
Okay, thank you, Tuan Syed Hazmi. Hold on, eh?
Okay.
Okay, can everyone see my slide?
Okay, can.
Can, okay. Thank you very much, Cream, for having me the opportunity to share my experience with Sunway Construction, what we have done in managing quality. We don't want to say that we are the best. We have all the best practices, but we will. I just want to maybe change the what terms a bit. Maybe we can say it's a good practices that we have practice. And I don't think that I will share the whole things. I just share some key things that we have done in this presentation. To begin with, let me introduce with my company, the corporate representation, Sunway Construction. As Azmi said, I've been with the company about almost this May will be 27 years. So in 2021, the existence of company is 40 years. So that it's more than half of the company age have been there with this company. Hold on, Okay, this company, as I mentioned, have been in existence for the last 40 years. We are the pure play contractor. Turnover, I think, for end of 2021, so more than 32 billions. Now I think maybe reach about 34 billions already. And then we invested in VDC, Virtual Design and Construction, since 2010. Later on, our friends will share something similar on this VDC, what we call it BIP, later on. And then we have been have a project in 7 countries, in Malaysia, India, Singapore, UAE, Trinidad and Tobago, Taiwan, and Myanmar. We have 2 precast plants, actually one in Johor, three, 2 in Johor and then 1 in Singapore. In terms of business, This is the main what the business we are doing. The first one is building construction. For today's session, I will touch more on the activities for this division, building construction services. Among the project that we have on this, like KL Convention Center, Petronas New Leadership Center. So this among the iconic project that we have. For infrastructure, I think we involved in this all the RT, MRT, LRT, BRT, and then also highway projects. So we have projects in terms of infrastructure in Malaysia and in India. And then MEP services, and then geotechnicals. So we have our own subsidiary, Sunway Geotechnical Sdn Bhd. Then, as I mentioned earlier, we have Precast in Johor and Singapore. And then this is actually a new business that we explore, sustainable energy services. Then we also involved in these PFI projects. Okay, come back to the topics that we are being assigned to share our experience. Best quality practices in construction, doing right the first time. Actually, this topic is quite big and then very broad. So I come up with the idea how that we can share, how can I can explore this topic with you all. Actually, I just divide into two. One, what we call it, doing it right the first times. Okay, and then the others terms best quality practices in construction. I use these two standards as a guide for this doing it right the first times. Okay, then second, for best quality practices, I use our CIS 7 2021 or well known as a QLA 6 standards as a guide for our best quality practices in construction. Okay. Okay, no matter what, for both standards, okay, on this Malaysian standard, what the ISO 9000, it focus more on the quality management system. So, but on the right, it focus more on the product quality, okay, specifically on the product quality. So that, but both, I can say, have the same objective, that is to achieve quality. What we mean quality, I define here, match, M-A-T-C-H, match kalau dalam bahasa Malaysia, padan. Padan. I mean padan, berpadanan. Okay. Also, what it mean is match agreed term and changes. Okay. No matter what in our industry, in our construction industry, there are some changes, but both parties must agree and then comply to that. If let's say we have agreed to match these terms and changes, then we can say that we have achieved quality. So these two standards serve the purpose. Okay, in overall, this is the contents that I will share with you all for what the parts. The first part, quality management system, just as I mentioned earlier, based on ISO 9001. You can see at the bottom here, this is actually the slogan that we put in our Suncon quality management system. Doing right things right the first time and every time. Okay, slightly different than the slogan for this webinar. We have some additional terms before doing things right. No? We just put doing right things right. No? This is actually got some info because when we mention the right things right, doing positive things. Okay, just example, if let's say you have a thief, thief also can say, oh, I'm doing right things right. No, that's why I can steal something from that house. Okay, so that's the meaning. That's why we change. We add in doing right things right the first time and every time. Okay, as mentioned earlier, the slogan here, then it refer to ISO quality management system. I just brief through because some of you already maybe being exposed already to ISO 9001. Okay, what are the gist in this ISO 9001? There are 10 elements lah in under ISO 9001 atau 10 clause, but it's actually under clause number 4. Clause number 4 here, it have few parts lah here. For example, like here, you mentioned about organization and contact. Who have what thing that we are doing, no? At least we know what we are doing, and then needs and expectation of relevant interested parties. Who are the interested parties? Okay, that involved with our business, and then definitely in our industry, construction industry, like us, a contractor, the customer requirement. So this is all the inputs that we have to consider. Then we have the quality management system. Under this quality management system, you can see here the element that we have to fulfill. Okay, under leadership, where for us, for our quality management system, we establish our quality policy, our quality objective. This is to show our commitment towards quality. And then definitely we must have some plannings. Okay, plannings for construction industry. Definitely our work programs. This is considered plannings, and some other activities to prepare for our actual operation. And then come to others element on ISO 9000, the support services, where all the human resources, okay, materials, procurement, everything is we fall under this. And then also the competency of staff also will fall under this support. And then number 8 is operation, where this is the means that no matter what business you have, whether you have ISO 9000 or you don't have ISO 9000, this must be there. Operation, this is to make it happen. That is to transfer all this input to become the output of our companies. And then number 9, we evaluate performance evaluation. For example, when we do inspection, we do assessment, that is part of the performance evaluation. And then from that, the findings of our performance evaluation, we do this improvement. That's why under this ISO 9000, the current revision, we follow the PDCA cycle: plan, do, check, and act. Then finally, once we manage our quality, then we expect this is the output result of quality management system, that is the customer satisfaction and then good quality product and services. This is actually the intention of this ISO 9001. So how we go about this one? Very simple. I can say what step to do. That is, first we document what you do. Okay, all the right things, right? All the right thing, we document it. So then after that, we do what you document. Then we follow. So the intention here, and then last thing is record what you have done. All these things, the purpose is just to make sure that we are doing it right the first time, and then it will keep repeating. If we don't document it, what we're supposed to do, maybe the next person or the next teams will do something different, so that we don't expect the same result will happen. So the good quality company will produce good quality product consistently. That's the intention. Then how we execute this quality management system? We follow the PDCA cycles. Just go through. Under plan, as I mentioned earlier, planning. Okay, we come up with a work program, the PQP, project quality plan, risk management plan, and others. And then procurement of material, business partners, we do it at this stage. And then we train or brief the business partners on the expected output from them in terms of quality and also safety. That's very important. And then we do our technical submissions to the respective consultants for the approval in terms of work method statement, inspection and test plan, checklist. And also we submit also the samples or material that to be used at the site for the approval. The next step, do. Once we have planned everything, we start our construction activities, and then we do this quality control, in progress supervision. When mentioned about quality control, not necessarily just inspection. That is, we control the process, the sequence of works. Then we make sure that everything follow the work method statement. That is what we mean quality control. And next, we check. Okay, check regular or routine inspection and testing. And then we do our internal cash audit. Cash audit, that means quality, environment setting, and health audit, because for us, Suncon, we have the integrated management system. So when we do audit, we conduct all these 3 systems at one go. And then this is something maybe extra. I will elaborate further when we talk under this QLASIC, Sunway Quality Merit System. And then also progressive quality assessment, PQA. And then last is QLASIC, including the pre-QLASIC done internally. And then the next is on X. Okay. After all these things, if let's say we find any non-conformance, we make sure the non-conformance being handled properly and effectively. And then constant review, then we improve our documentation, just like what we mentioned earlier. We document what we do, then we keep improving, okay, in order to ensure consistency in achieving good quality products. And then we improve maybe our methodology, okay, with womanship, that is continuous improvement. And then maybe we also take action in terms of retraining. Just like we mentioned earlier, that we train our business partners or our own staff, but maybe we need certain sometimes retraining just to ensure consistency. I focus here one more again, the consistency is very important. Finally, for quality management system, then we got it, the ISO 9000. I think as like most of you know that every 3 years we have recertified our certificate, so that, but every year they will come. 2 years they do seven audit, and then the third year they do recertificate. So this is the process, continue and continue and continue. Okay, but the thing here, when we have this ISO 9000, we don't know how good is our quality. Okay, that's why we come to the next one, the QRC certification. I've been in this company for about 27 years. Actually, I approached CIDB, okay, when I joined, but that means 26 years ago, about this QRC. They have the problem on that because we believe on that, because our top management at the time said, "Hey, Fauzi, we have already our ISO 9000 certificates. So what's next?" So we want to focus more on QRC. At the time, CIDB, their office based at the Subang Airport. Then I approached one of their officer. He said, "We want to get involved in this. Okay, how we can go about?" So that actually we can see this QRC certification is very good indicators now for us to know where we are in terms of product quality. Everyone can have ISO 9001, but how good is the product? This will be the yardstick for the client, maybe to choose us as a preferred contractor. So all in all, I summarize, okay, my presentation under this quality, QRC certification will focus on these three areas, the people, the process, and the products, because all this concept is the main ingredient or the input to achieve good quality. Okay, in terms of the people, I just list down the 4 best practices that we've done, that we expect maybe each one of you also should have this or already have it, and then maybe we can share, we can make it better. The first one is in terms of commitment. Okay, we expect the commitment. Then second thing about the people, we need the competent people, and then the adequacy. Sometimes we have competent people, but not enough people. This will be will create some problem also to us. And then the people also should be being equipped with the right tools and equipment to do their job in order to ensure quality. Okay, we start with the commitment. We can see here, these all are the stakeholders, okay, the basic stakeholders at any projects that we involve. The main here, I mentioned here, the commitment. So I start with one. Internally, these two, the internally, our own management have to be committed into deliver quality. And then the project team, definitely, because they have no choice. Okay, they are the doer in order to achieve a quality. The next one in line is these two that relate to the projects, the business partners. Okay, at Timecon, we try to choose this term, business partners instead of subcontractors. So business partners play an important part in delivering quality, because they are actually the real doer. Okay, the real doer to produce quality products. So we need their commitment. And then the other one is the suppliers. Okay, the suppliers. And then these two actually, they are, you can say, in terms of higher authority, the designers and client. Okay, so that we also need their commitment to deliver quality. So all this, if all have shown their commitment, or not only shown X on it, okay, we can see this can become the best practices. But we can see that based on my experience, not all projects have all these parties have a full commitment. Sometimes we have this part party have a commitment, but the rest not. So sometimes we can achieve quality, but ada masalah sikit lah. We have some we slow down the process. Okay, just to share with you all what we have at Suncon to show our management commitment. We have set the targets for our QLA6. Just like I mentioned earlier, when I joined the company in 1996, and then in the year 2000, okay, in the year 2000, we already set our KPI. That is, but at this time, we didn't apply for formal QLASIC assessments at this time, year 2000, but we do our internally. At this time, we send a few of our staff to attend the Conquest training, similar to QLASIC in Singapore. That Conquest coming from Singapore. This assessor, we do the assessment to our projects, and then we set the target 65. Okay, you can say here at the moment is quite low lah. In the year 2022. Currently, the national average is 76. It's quite high. But we set this one for our internal use. So that we can see here, the time from 2000 2008 it's very quite long. Because in the year 2008, we revised our KPI from 65 to 70. Even at this time, 2008, we still don't have any project being formally certified by CIDB. We start our assessment, or we apply our assessment, we apply officially to CIDB to assess our project in the year 2009. Okay, it's about 14 years ago, 2009. And then in the year 2010, we set the policy. All building projects shall be assessed to QLA6. So we start this one 2010 for QLA6. This was 13 years ago. But still some of the projects we have to avoid that because they are not compliant to the QLA6 requirement to be assessed. So that we omit. But majority of our project, I can say more than 95% of our project are being assessed to QLA6 for building projects. Then 2014, we revised our KPI to 75. And then 4 years later to 80. And then last year, okay, mid, we revised to 83. Okay, the reason why, because we want to be different. We want to outshine, okay, our competitor. That is the purpose why we revised this. We know that it's very tall order, but we try our best, okay, to achieve this KPI. Then how we get our business partners commitment? Through their contracts. Okay, this is just a sample contracts. We put the requirement in their contracts. Then what we do after we secure the contractors' services, we conduct training. This is among we conduct QLASIC awareness. This one we do to our business partners, to our own staff, the project team, and then also QLASIC assessors. Because assessors normally for our team, either from the QA department or from the operation team. Even our planning, the engineer also, we train on this QLASIC assessor. Okay, the purpose of this QLASIC assessor, at least they know that they can help the project team to supervise the job. If let's say is not complying to the QLASIC requirement, at least they can highlight and then issue NCR on that. The third type of training that we conduct is what we call QCAT, Quality Conformance Awareness Trainings on major trades. And then the last thing, the training, what we call cross-learning program. This is just like we visited other projects, either within Suncon or external. Last time we visited this Orange Beam project, projects on 5S. We want to learn about 5S. Then we also went to Singapore to visit our partners projects in Singapore to learn about the Conquest. What are the good practices? Okay. Okay, this is just a few photos lah. That we have training at the site. Can be in the classroom. Okay, this is like a classroom training or on site at the site itself conducts. Like some staff even bring the laptop to the site just to show what we expect from them to do. This is one example of the training for one of our project that achieved quite high quality score last year. Training at the sites on AAC blocks, drywall partition, plastering works, and also tiling works. So we develop our training material. We store this in our KM portal, knowledge management portal, okay, to be used by the trainers at the project site. Then this is what we call quality passport, just like the handout. And then what we do also to engage with suppliers and specialists. Okay, for example, like this one, hands-on training by Thai grout suppliers, because we have some issues on the grout haze. Okay, we invite the suppliers to demo to us how to prevent that. And then site inspection with Thai and grout suppliers, hands-on training on system formwork installation. As I mentioned earlier, the cross-learning programs. This is just I share with you our CLP to Singapore. I still remember this one quite a long time ago. We went to Singapore a few years back. I still remember 1 month, every week I have to go there. 4 buses we go there every week for 4 weeks. Then 4 buses. We bring about 30 to 40 staff, either from our department, project team, and even sometimes from our client. So site follow us to learn what good practices in Singapore. Okay, this is just a sample of slide that they share with us the quality touch-up, protection, everything. That's where we learn. This is CLP in Singapore, still in Singapore, so that when they go there, they take photo, what are the good practices they have done. This is a briefing by the site reps on their good practices at site. This is something that I will remember until now how their staff when they do plastering, they bring their own tools then to measure on their own. Then this they put the inner bits to control the squareness. Then what more important, after we procure the business partners, okay, we had to invest some tools. So okay, in certain projects, they purchase the right tools to be given to our business partners and also to our supervision team, because sometimes we expect people to do a good job, but we not sure also whether they have the right tool or not to check. Then we expect some our assessors or inspector to come and check and highlight. It's better for the workers themselves to check on their own first. Then I go to the next one on the process. I covered 3 types on the best practices, what we have done, the right methodology and sequence, the routine supervision and inspection, and also quality assessment. Right, as I shared earlier in the quality management system, we can say here the right methodology, so that we have to make sure that all the workers follow the method statement, because that is the right processes. We have to make sure on that. Then because we have done on this training and briefing to the business partners. So right methodologies are very important, and also the sequences of work also very important, because we want to avoid other defects because of we don't follow the sequence. This is just a few examples when we don't follow the sequence. We proceed render and skim wall to reactor block wall before installation of embedded MED conduits. That means we skim already. Then we forgot. We don't put the embedded MED. Then we had to hack. We had to hack. Then see. Then finally the finishes, we can say look ugly, or we can have the smooth finishes if we say we do this. And then they think so it's important that MND embedded to be patched properly to prevent crack line, debonding, and hollowness. Because in certain cases, at certain projects, we let this happen. We scheme already, and then after that, the M&A contractor come and hacks, and then they themselves, the M&A contractor, do the patching because they are not skilled enough. Maybe they don't comply, and then later on, it will create another problem that is like crack line, debonding, and hollowness. This is quite important. We proceed rendering, skin coating, and painting to RC wall before addressing the wall squareness and alignment. Okay, we have faced some this situation at projects where we don't check or we don't make good on the wall squareness. They just skim, and then after that, the inspector from the client or the consultant come and checks and highlight, okay, the wall not square enough, or the alignment have some problem. Then we have no choice. When we want to rectify, we have to hack the things here. So actually, it's very costly. It's very costly. We try to avoid that. Then this another examples of the not follow the sequencing as about finishing work before installation of a face panel, that we have to follow that. The example, the business partner managed to make good the skim wall finish at SSO box before the painting work. Okay, you can see here we make good here. Sometimes we don't repair. Okay, we just install the SSO box. Then like this example, same, make good the skim wall, and then here face panel are installed after painting. So this should be the right sequence. Then the tie grouting. This is another examples. To ensure wall and floor tile are completed before grouting works. Okay, they mean we have to make sure everything one go. Sometimes we just do the tiling work up to this stage, and then we grout it. We should follow the one application to one area. That is to eliminate potential defect of inconsistent grout tonality. This always happen. Like this one, they said skim coatings, something similar to what you had shared earlier. Skim coating not to cover M&E box. Then what we are supposed to do also, the in-process control, make sure we have checked the verticality before skim coating. Then we put corner bit to ensure the squareness of our finishes. Then enforce worker to use measuring tool during plastering. Then in-process control, regular inspection. This one I just want to share something. Maybe some company maybe have their own way on top of the routine inspection. At Sunway, we have two, like I mentioned earlier, SQMS. We call it Sunway Quality Merit System, actually being introduced in 2014. 2014, so about more than 8 years already. So we do this quarterly. Okay, quarterly. And then after that, we will issue the results to the project teams. Like this is just examples. Last time, initially, when we do this, we have a few criteria. We check on the workmanship, respond to complaint, for example, NCR, document management, inspection record, and there's also site arrangement, the logistic, everything we share. So that there is some weightage to this. You can see here, in this one for 2020, the weightage for workmanship. Okay, but for 2022, we already remove all this. Now we just focus more on the workmanship. Okay, so that we have some guidelines okay, for the project team to improve. For example, like under workmanship, for example, for these examples, the workmanship reduced if we compare for the previous assessment. And then like this one, no change. This one improve. Okay, this initiative actually being published in our Jutra magazine under IAM in 2016. Due to this, when we publish this one under Jutra, Shell Malaysia invite us to share our experience on this in that particular year. As I mentioned earlier, from 2014 version, now we change to 2020, where we focus only on the workmanship. And then the next one is what we call a progressive quality assessment. Okay, we actually at this, almost same time with the SQMS. Normally, day one they do SQMS, the day two they do the progressive quality assessment. What are the difference between these two? Okay, for SQMS, we grade them. We use actually classic criteria for SQMS. We use classic criteria then to score to the finished products. Okay, we do some, but some on our classics. In classic, we don't have the criteria for the RC works, but we create our own the criteria for the RC works. So we do also for SQMS. We do also RCU work assessment, and then we grade them and give the score. Then on the next day, we do progressive quality assessment where the assessor from HQ will go everywhere in the sites to see on the active flaws or areas on construction, and then they will see the way that the output of the products or in process works. Then they will snap some photos and then highlights in the report. Okay, as you can see here under this PQA, the objective here is to set quality benchmark and quality establishment with first time right. Less rework and prevent occurrence of potential defects. And then this is the target to achieve accuracy more than 80. Then the scope, we follow CIS 7 and then also project spec and also the good practices. And then this is all the assessment scopes. Then the methodology. Okay, I will go through. And then what are the responsibilities from the TKM HQ and then project team and the business partners. After the assessment, normally we will have like let's say finish today, then our team will come back to HQ to prepare some reports and presentation. Next day, they will have findings. They will review the findings and then highlight with the business partners what are the issues. And then if let's say the business partners or the project team have something that to correct on our report, they will highlight on that. And then after that, within 1 or 2 days after that session, after the session with the business partner and project team, we will blast this report throughout the company. So everyone in the company will receive this PQA for the project. So that is actually something can say to create competition among the project to ensure that they are doing the right thing right. And then also to share on the good practices what have been done at certain projects. So that's the intention. This is just a sense of the reports that we have done. The issue here, for example, like missing fiber mesh, okay, estimation of RC lintel and AC blocks work, then what they have done, okay, at certain sites, we share the good practices. Okay, then we highlight also if you say good practice, site worker using L angle to check column squareness after application of framework. Okay, the next assessment that we do is the pre-classics. You just use a CIS 7 guideline. I think most company also have done this internal classics. Okay, just the highlight here. Internal assessment is not really done one time only. Just why I put here the series. Series of internal classics are conducted. The findings are used as guideline for action to be taken before the actual classic assessment. These are the sharing session of the findings. Then I go to the last portion of the classic certifications. Material handling. This one focus on the products, fine tuning and the reconditioning works. We call it, and also protection. So material inspection, this is very important to ensure that we got the right products, the right material to be used as a finished product. Okay, material checking at the sites. And this is very important also, message storage. Sometimes we neglect this. Just example, we should have 3 points to support the product to ensure they tak bend, it's not bending. Then we have to make sure that it's tracking properly. Then next one, this if you ask me, this is very important also. If you ask me, we can say this is one of good practices. Touch-up team. Okay, no matter what, just example, like if let's say your projects are supposed to be completed by December. If let's say now in February, you do the assessment on QLA6, you got 100 score QLA6 also, it's not guaranteed, by December, you will maintain that score. So there will be sometimes secondary defects will happen during this time. So what we do, we create, normally we form out the touch-up team. The touch-up team can be from the business partners workers plus our own direct workers to help to do this touch-up. This is one example, the fine-tuning for wall alignment and squareness. This one, the wall glass panel skirting, okay, the touch-up, painting, gap closing, stain removal. Then supervising fine-tuning work to make good inconsistent ceiling shadow gap. Okay, supervision had to be there also because we know it's very common. We do touch-up. We close one defect, but we create another two defects. That we try to avoid that. Then we have to make sure so the workers use the right tools. Then the protection, this is very important. We have to use the right protection to ensure there's no defects later on, because normally workers will still come and go to the area that we have complete actually on the wall, sorry, on the floor. This is a protection to the doors and windows. And protection to the MAP items. And sanitary fittings. Okay, now I just want to share, after we have listened to our headline under ISO 9000 and also quality certification, where we are. Okay, this is very important because like I said, best practices, we have to know also where we are so that we can improve further. As Stephen Covey said, begin with end in mind. Okay, when we start our ISO 9000, when we start closure, we must have something in mind, so that we want to be, like I mentioned, to be a good quality contractor. Okay, under ISO 9000, you mentioned, if you say remember earlier, customer satisfaction is very important. So we monitor client satisfaction. I just share with you the graph of our client satisfaction for the 2002. Okay, you can see the yellow one. That's the responding rate. No, we have 16 projects. Okay, out of 16 projects, then there are about 91 respondents, including client, project management consultant, the design consultants. Okay, so altogether about 91. Out of 91, 90 responded. So that's why we achieve 98.9. Our KPI, we target respondent rate, our KPI is 75. Then the second one, in terms of satisfaction, yes. Okay, our KPI is 90. Alhamdulillah, I think so far we achieved, okay, from the beginning when we start this one in the year 2009. Okay, last year, I think among the highest also, actually second highest, the highest is 95 point, sorry, here, third highest, okay, 95.56. Okay, in this survey, we asked them to, the questionnaire, are you satisfied with our product? Yes or no, that's all. Okay, yes or no, direct answer. Okay, sometimes if they don't put, sometimes they put NA, that means we don't include this one, but most of them answer. So 95.56 last year, they said yes, satisfied. And then this the score. We have 10 criteria. We ask them. The 10 criteria include quality of our workmanship, safety, our plannings, our subcon performance, and then some other things in terms of responsiveness to the client's what they need. So all that criteria, then we reach out the score. So that the score for last year is 78.67. So if it's achieve our KPI, the target is 70. Okay, next one. That one on the survey, okay? Very important. How about the products? So I will share later on the outcomes. QLA6 actually will tell you about the quality of the products. Okay, since 2009, our 36 project have been assessed by CID assessor. So the range of score like this now, less than 70 is 5 projects, 70 to 74.9, 8 projects, then 75 and above 23 projects. Why I put here like this is actually most of the average for Malaysia only last year I turned on the year before 76. So that we achieve at least on the average part. Okay, this is the average for, of course, sorry, you can see here, I don't have the data for these 2 years, 2012 and 2013. This is the data, the dotted line, this is the national average. This is the average for us every year for Suncons QLA6. Okay, we can see from here, the highest is 85, okay, the average, but please take note, in that year, only one project, only 85. Okay. Same thing here. The second highest is 83, but one project also. Okay. But actually last year, 2022, actually our best results lah, because the average is 81.8, but it involved 4 projects lah. Okay, 4 projects. So that this has shown that it's quite consistent. Our approach and then quite improving though. And then we do some analysis actually for our projects. We have the hotels, okay, the residential strata, okay, the office. Okay, we can done quite good job for the office projects, and also the residential strata, okay, not bad, 80, 83. And then residential landed, okay, and then hospital and university. So this is quite important for me. I mean, this is one example of the good practice or bad practice also for us, at least in what area that we have to improve. Then the latest QLA results, okay, you can see here 2021 to 2020, we don't have any projects completed. 2020 that time MCO. These projects, the last 5, okay, but the last one we don't make it 80, 76. You can see here. We are glad to share the result. Why? Because we can see it's actually it's a mixed type of building. Like this one is condo, residential. This is the training center. This is the medical center. This is the office. This is the school. So that we try to become an excellent contractor, a good quality contractor in all types of buildings. The challenges I'm moving forward. I go this one first. The designs. Things is true in terms of quality, for especially on the QLA to achieve design play an important role. Okay, because sometimes the design very complex or too many angles, okay, too many corners, then very difficult to achieve a high quality score. Then time, okay, time is very important. I still remember when we do the CLP to Singapore, one of the senior project manager mentioned, no time, no quality. Because we need time. We need time to fine tune in order to achieve good QLA score. But we have these challenges, especially now. After the MCO, most of the projects, the client push to us. They want us to hand over fast. So we have some issue. It's true. When we rectify the thing here, then once we finish, we had to hand over. Then this will be the challenges now for the QLA, because QLA want to see if possible, as many samples as possible on that particular projects. But nowadays, we have no choice. Some of the project, because the purchaser, they already wait sometimes 5-6 years due to the COVID-19, the project delayed, so they want it fast. So we have no choice. Also, we have to entertain also those purchasers who want their unit fast. And then cost, okay, it's true. It's actually costly. When we want to do the fine tuning, okay, you have to pay additional in terms of manpower and also the material that you need to do some fine tuning works. And then the manpower, this is another issue. I think maybe in the last few months, we have some issues. We shortage of workers. CIDB also is helping the industry to get more and more workers because we have some issues, for example, like some of our projects. They don't have enough workers to do the touch up. So that, but we already apply for to be assessed in QLA 6, but the workers is not enough. Sometimes we have no choice. We have to postpone the assessment due to the not enough workers. But then another issue, sometimes we have enough workers, but the quality of workers is not there. They are not competent. So when they do touch up, they create secondary defects. So that we have to take care of that also. That's why quantity and quality, we have to consider about our own manpower. That's the challenges that we are facing. Then moving forward, I think we come out almost to the end. We expect more participation in QLA 6, but will it be mandatory? We heard about this since 2014 to become mandatory. It's supposed to be 2020, but now 2023 already, but still not mandatory. Why I mentioned this one? If let's say it's mandatory for QLA 6, then we don't have much issue with our own business partners or workers, because no matter they go, they still have to do QLA 6. That's what happened in Singapore. Why their industry, they can get a good score on concourse, 90 something consistently, because they can get workers. It doesn't matter, new workers coming also, they are familiar with the concourse requirement. So that's what we expect to happen in Malaysia. Then we expect also the moving forward CIDB to publish QLA 6 benchmarking data. That means highest and average score is an example for landed, something similar to what I have said earlier at Suncon, because we need this data. At least we can focus in what area that we should improve. And this is also very important because this data very important for this last point here. QLA 6 incentive, client authorities, I mean client and authorities should give some incentive to the contractor, not only penalty. At the moment, what I heard also, some client, they only penalize if you don't achieve this this score and that score. Only penalty, but there's no incentive. Okay. Then the other thing that I just touch back on the second bullets there. Sometimes some client, they just put the score coming from, I don't know from the sky or what, without basing in any reference point. For example, if let's say you are doing for Suncon, you see our graph just now for schools. Okay, the best score that we at the moment we score is 76. Okay, 76. But maybe some clients, let's say they are not aware on that. Maybe they just put 85. If let's say they have to check, if let's say the industry, the average is that score, then they should put in the contract that particular score, not just come up with certain score that may be very difficult to achieve. So I think with that, I come just to share with you the journey on quality. Just a summary everything. Okay, it's a continual journey because I've been in the company since 1996. This is what are all the activities that we are doing. Like I said, all the PQA, progressive quality assessment, was the last initiative that we have come up. Then, as a closing remarks, I just mentioned here, the race for quality has no finish line. Okay, thank you very much. I hand over to the moderator, Syed Hazni. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tuan Haji Mak Fauzi, for sharing the experience and best practice from the contractor perspective. So in general, I think when I see the presentation, I look into the almost elaborate on the relationship between the ISO 9001 and also CI7. So I think then he also touched about the PDA cycle in order to get achieve the target of the quality of workmanship. So I think and I like the presentation during the last because he touched on the challenging and also the moving forward. Thank you, Haji. So I think now we go the second our speaker. Now the perspective is different from the property. I mean the developer perspective, which is we have a speaker from Mr. Tiago Arasat. He is a senior quality assurance manager from the Paramount Property Development Siem Reap with a total 24 years in construction industry. So he graduated from the Federal Institute of Technology Diploma, and now currently he pursuing executive master in operation and project management at University Malaysia Pahang. So he is a graded QC assessor and also QC trainer with a responsibility to set up the QA department, quality assurance department in organization and process used to measure and ensure the quality of the product and quality control. The process of ensuring the product and services meet the customer requirement and expectation. So I think without the further ado, I would like to pass this session to Mr. Tiago Arasan. Please, Mr. Tiago.
Hey, thank you so much, Tuan Syed. Okay, a very good morning to all of our colleagues here. Okay, Tuan Haji Muhammad Cik Fauzi, and also Mr. Kumaran and Cik Dr. Khairul. A very good morning to you. Right, let me share my screen here. Can you see my screen?
Can, Mr. Tiago.
Can, huh? Right, thank you. Right, okay, let me read through about the topics today, right? First and foremost, thank you so much to CREAM CIDB to give us the opportunity to do this presentation on behalf of our organization, all right? I'm going to share about this topic, quality practices in construction industries. My topic contents will be, I have about 10 items that I'm going to discuss, share to all of you. All right, I'll do a self-introductions, and of course, I will elaborate on my company background and the projects that we are completed as well ongoing, and the departmental roles, the definition of quality, and then where we start the quality, and how we do the quality assessment. And of course, I have some photographs and videos to be shared. And of course, last but not least, is the code of qualities. Okay. The topic today will be best practices in construction. Do right the first time, right? And every time. This is our topic. I think I've been introduced by Tuan Syed. So nothing much here. Okay, let me brief through.
Sorry, Mr. Tiago. Sorry, can you share a full screen of your presentation?
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
Is it okay?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks.
Right, good. Okay. Right. Let me brief through about our company. Okay. We Paramount Property Development. Okay. We actually a developer, and also we have our construction engineering arm in our organizations. So our functional is mainly to deliver the functional and practical products to meet the customers' expectations. Okay. So as a developer, as a well-known developer in the industries, we are actually developing some of our projects, residentials, commercials, retails, educational, industrials, as well as some integrated developments. And we named as People's Developer with the track record of almost about 4 decades, right? 4 decades for the building enduring address in Klang Valley. We have some projects in Klang Valley, Sungai Petani, Kedah, as well in Batu Kawan, Penang. And over the years, where in these industries, we've been obtained several so-called award-winning awards from the various organizations. Our vision is changing lives and enriching communities for the better world. This is our vision, and we have five missions we always quite passionate with our deliver superior products and services to that benefit the societies as well, shape up a future generation of leaders and thinkers. We also care about the safety and health of our people, and also believing that in developing their talents through the empowerment and enabling them to the maximum potential. Of course, we need to grow our businesses to deliver a sustainable and responsible shareholders to our stakeholders to returns while ensuring that we continue to protect our environment. We will hold on the technological. We have our innovation. Okay, we in our sections also we have our so-called product development innovation to be market leaders in our core businesses. We will leverage on the synergies within our businesses ecosystem to create a unique product offerings. So basically, this is our 5 core mission. Of course, our core values, we call it as tribe. Okay, what is tribe? Basically, we build trust, we respect our stakeholders, our partners, our communities. Of course, we have our integrities, bravery, as well our energies to drive through the so-called the businesses. Let me show some projects that some of these completed, some of this is actually ongoing. As I said, mentioned earlier, we have projects in Klang Valley, whereas you can see we have a project in Shah Alam, Cyberjaya, Petaling Jaya, and also in Kuala Lumpur. And in our northern, we have in Penang, Batu Kawan. And in Kedah, Sungai Petani, we have some landed developments. In Penang, we have actually high-rise developments. And in Klang Valley, basically, we have high-rise mixed developments. Let me share some photos here. This is our completed projects, Sejati Residence, Cyberjayas. This is our new upcoming as well ongoing projects, Sejati Lakeside Phase 1 and 2. This is our another project in Salak Perdana, Greenwoods, landed properties. This is our project in Klang Town, yeah, Berkeley. The name is Berkeley Uptown. And this is our project in PJ, okay, right at the heart of PJ is the Acera, as high as 50-story building, yeah. This is our another project in Shah Alam, the arena is near Kemuning Utama. And one of the best part of these projects is actually we are delivering smart home system. Okay, we believe using the apps system to control the features. Okay, the power consumptions as well some other features in the homes. This is our another project in KL. Okay, it's our so-called the atrium. This is our development in Bukit Banyan, Kedah. This is Utropolis, Batu Kawan, Penang. Yeah, that's some of the quick introduction of our projects. Okay, in our quality management system, Paramount Property has developed a quality department to monitor and quality management system. And we also set a policy and processes and also the procedures to require for planning and execution in our core businesses areas. These processes will encourage to have two-way communication on all our quality related issues in the company, projects and personals. The involvement of this cultural apparent by the involvement of the management in various of departments. We've been liaising with various departments, project teams, contract teams, and also product innovation teams to ensure that our operation goes smooth and our continued improvement of processes is a never-ending effort towards discovering and eliminating the root of the problems. The involvement of section range from operation and quality policies are internal quality assessment, which is we name it as IQA, and we have our customer satisfaction index records, as well on the environmental safety and health. So we actually covered our quality as well, our safety and health assessments. Okay, what is quality? Right? Let me have a brief on this quality. What is quality? This is the standard is something that measured against other things of the similar kind or a degree of excellence of something. Something, there's an input, there is an output. So what is the input? Input is actually the work that we executed, and the output will be the product, which is the quality, whether is it within the desirable quality or not, whether it's constructed within the standard or not, whether with the minimum desirable standard or not. These are the things that we always emphasize and take in degree to excellence something that we constructed. And the definition of quality, a distinctive attribute or characteristics possessed by someone. It is being constructed by human, by someone. Okay, so that is how we so-called we do a cross checking of this so-called is being produced by some people. Then we do a assessment, so-called a checks to ensure that it meet the minimum requirement of the products. What is our customers' perception on quality? Just let me to give you a simple examples. From here you can see from my slides here, let's look like we have three type of shoes from the same factory, okay, probably from same quality, but different label. For example, like no label, Bata or Nike. So when we compare these two, Nike wins. Why? Because of the range of the quality could be different. Like how the developers went into Mont Kiara to write on Sunrise project. So way before, if we can refresh our mind, can see early 90s. If some of you may aware that Mont Kiara was in the peak of developments, whereas during earlier before took over, so I think Sunrise was the pioneer developer who actually developed the Mont Kiara, and he created a brand in Mont Kiara. Like how developers went into Bandar Botanic, same thing, Gamuda, right? Today you can see Botanic Garden, right? It's quite well developed, and the name, okay, the name of the developers is always been spelled out. So likewise, I'm always have the opinion, always have the thoughts that the branding is very important if we do things right from beginning. I think a branded developer is very, very important, right? A brand is not measurable, but theoretically it is worthless. Okay. Why we need a quality assessment, right? Why we need a quality assessment? Of course, we need a benchmark of the project quality. We need to have set a target or set a benchmark to ensure that everybody is worked along with the benchmark to achieve the minimum benchmark. Set a target for contractors to achieve, and also evaluation assess the quality of the finished buildings. Of course, to promote innovation to achieve higher score for the future project. And last but not least, of course, the brand of the company as a result is displayed probably in BCA or CIDB website. So these are the four core key things that why we need to have quality assessment. Okay, in our organization, I have actually have summarized a few things. So in terms of where we do start the quality, how the quality been emphasized, as well how it then been involved into the our quality. So basically, this is our company's so-called the flow, right? Okay, right from the tender stage, we divided into tender document preparation. Of course, we have DQ and drawings, and whereas we have evaluation and also the award. So right before the award, So what will happen here is during the tender stage, we will specify the target. We will specify the target score QRSIC in the contract, including the incentive as well as penalty system. So there is a so-called pro and con, which is the pro will be the incentive, the con will be the penalty system. So this is how we go about it. And during the evaluation, we will do a main contractor's assessment, right, from the planning management into the logistic resources, manpowers. And of course, during this process, we will also, enclose all our trade quality checklists in terms of quality trade works plus environmental safety and health documentations. And during the tender award, we will select the main contractor based on these two criteria, which is it will always be an advantage if the main contractor have undergo a QRSIC, so-called right from trainings, until the assessment of the projects. We will look through all this during our site, so-called preliminary visits. And of course, we also look into the contractors who have produced good workmanship with a good track record in terms of quality times. Okay, that is on the tender stage. During the construction stage, once the project is kicked off, okay, during the kickoff meeting, we will also specify during the first kickoff meeting, we will specify the QRSIC requirements, whereas we will bind all the so-called, we will use the CI7 2021. Okay, we will do a brief. We will explain to our so-called the whole project metrics, during the kickoff meeting, and this will be continued during the so-called the progressively fortnight site meeting as well. And during the work in progress, how we ensure the quality is really monitored. We will use all this item 1 to 4 to ensure that end of the day the product is constructed within the desirable quality levels. Whereas we use the trade checklist, PQPs, we use our e-NCR system. I will elaborate further on my other slides later on this e-system. And of course, we have quality conformance awareness briefings, trainings to all our project personnel, including the subcontractors, as well the suppliers, as well the manufacturers, if required to be attended for these sections. And number 4, we use our internal. This is what our QA department used to do it. We call it as IQA. I think Encik Fauzi have shared just now is PQA. So in Paramount, we actually use as IQA, internal quality assessment. And number 5, we also over the years we also use some of the construction quality best practices with the all the relevant evidences with the photographs that we captured. It could be internally, it could be externally. We have all these photos. We use this to do some learning, so-called learning curve with the project teams and members. Moving forward, 3 months upon completions, okay, before the project complete, we will conduct PDI, pre-delivery inspections. And of course, once the PDI is done, completed, and all the PDI is closed, we will have our pre-QRSIC assessment. Okay, it's more or less same like how on the contractor side, doing just now, Sancon, Mr. Fauzi have explained that. And of course, prior to that, we will have CIDB QRSIC assessment. And once the CIDB QRSIC is done, completed, before we prepare for our so-called heading over, our customer care department, plus with some of the other department staffs, okay, they call it as readiness inspection. They will conduct a readiness inspection. So basically, this about readiness inspection basically is like something that what we do is we just do a surface screening, okay, in terms of cleanliness, in terms of the fittings, in terms of the function of the the fittings, just to ensure everything is in order before we really hand over to our end users. And of course, upon issuance of CCC and CPCs, and also we will have the QRC certificate. Once we receive the QRC certificate with all other relevant details, we will conduct a post-mortem common defects. We will use the data that we obtain from CREAM, CIDB, as our reference to do our post-mortem on common defects. Of course, if the contractor achieve the minimum benchmark, we will provide some incentive in terms of contractual matters, and also if failing to achieve, we will also impose a penalty to the main contractor based on the QRC score. Okay, that is on the construction stage. Moving forward on the handover defect liability period stage. Okay, once we hand over the building to building management and maintenance, so once the proper handover is done, the project, if there is any defects raised by our end users, our customers, we will get our project team to rectify and prior handover back to customer management system. And during the liability period, customer will file the complaints. Of course, by doing all the proper monitoring, proper system, which as I explained during the tender stage until the construction stage, I believe we can minimize the defects in terms of, I think, the major issues from the projects. That's one of the idea why we use the system to go and ensure that these processes is play an important role right from the tender stage until the construction stage, and to ensure that end of the day we don't have much issues towards handover time. And once the final account done, we will release the retention sum. And of course, during the project closeout, we will also shortlist all the main contractor who actually with the good performance in terms of quality and also the time and also the other aspects areas lah. So we will shortlist all these contractors. We will keep it for our future reference before we award to other projects. Okay, let me brief through on how we do the quality checks. Okay, it could in the in-progress inspection and assessment. Of course, we all use the CIS 7 2021. In-progress assessment was conducted jointly with the project team. Okay, we will join together with the project team as a check and balance to ensure project were completed within the specified quality level. And final architecture assessment was conducted by independent third party, which is CIDB. So to ensure that end of the day, we don't receive any dispute, or maybe we don't want to have any dispute among with the teams, we will do a check and balance, which is we jointly will invite the project team as well together with us and other relevant team members to join for this inspection and assessment. And to ensure that end of the day, every day, everyone is actually have same kind of so-called the mindset, to make sure that the desirable quality level is achieved for the projects. Okay, this is our roadmap. Okay, let me show you the roadmap, how actually is work. So as I mentioned earlier, before the commencement of the trade works, we will conduct so-called similar like what Encik Fauzi said. It's quality awareness trainings. Okay, it's a briefing. All right, from structural work. Okay, at work progress of 15%. Right, work progress of 50%. Okay, we will conduct so-called the briefing. Okay, with all the structural trade plans. Okay, structural subcontractors. At 30%, we will start to look into the architectural works. Okay, whichever percentage the work progress is achieved earlier, we will look into this aspect. We also will do the so-called the briefing. And 50% once the MOCA unit assessment, we will do a MOCA unit assessment as well to set as a benchmark. Okay, the unit has been set as a benchmark so that everyone can follow the MOCA unit as a reference, to construct the other respective units. At stage of 90%, we will, once the PDI is done, we will do a pre-QLC assessment. And of course, once everything is completed, we will have final QLC assessment, and straight away we proceed with the handover vacant positions. So during this period of 15%, the progress of 15% to 90%, as you can see down here, that's where we will go in, based on monthly basis. Okay, here what we do is based on monthly basis to conduct our internal quality assessment. Okay, we will closely monitor the projects. Okay, and then we will also assess the various aspects from structural and also the architectural, whichever work is completed. So I believe in this quality, it's not solely on this architectural work. It should be started way before earlier, which is, I believe, the structural elements. The structural elements supposed to be in order, right? It's supposed to be in order. Then the following works, whereas like architectural works will overlap on top of the structural works, we will looks fine. If there's any deviation on during the assessment or any deviation on the structure, we will get our team to rectify it before we pass over to the next stage of work. Okay, this is some of the structural work assessment. Okay, we will do a so-called pre-inspections. Okay, in terms of reinforcements and also the post so-called inspection in terms of concreting. So as you can see, we will also check randomly. We will do a random check. Okay, the site team will have their own inspection on the daily basis. But what we do is on top of it, we will do our internal so-called monthly assessment. We will do a random samplings, based on we have set our own criteria, okay, own checklist and our own benchmark to make sure that the work is executed and also completed in order. That is on structural. Just to show you some architectural work assessment. So as you can see, ongoing process like brickworks, plastering works. Okay, we will also have our internal assessment, and those checklists we have been customized. We use the checklist, we set our own so-called assessment weightages in terms of weightages for alignment, tie bars, setting out plumps, horizontal lines, and squareness. So we will assess from every aspect in terms of pre-installation as well to post-installations. These some of the photos of architecture also in terms of the floorboard as well as some of the scheme wall plasterings. Some of the good practices we also adopt. Actually, I have a lot of good practices photos, but I don't have since the time was given quite limited, so I don't have. Actually, I got a lot of photos to share, but I just captured some of the important here for today's sharing. Right. So I think this is a very good initiative. Whereas if you complete the things, you install the products, the protective covers to the completed works is very important in order to make sure there is no further damages by others or so on. As well as some of the good detailings, good detailing such as, for example, I just show you one of the photo here, the acceptable internal fixtures in terms of floor traps, the surrounding cuttings, the design of the floor traps is all very, very, very important in order for us to comply with the QRC requirement. These some of the photos we do together with our project team. Okay, project team, not limited to project team. We will also invite some of the staff from customer care department and some from other related department. Okay, we will jointly do so-called, we train them and then we will do an internal pre-class assessment from the perspective from architectural work assessment, external roof and wall assessment, basic and mini fitting, all carried out by our QRC trained employees. So internally, as I took the lead of, because I have actually trained quite a number of employees, to do our internal, to jointly do our internal assessment. Quality assessment, the tools and inspections. So of course, you need something to have in your hand for you to measure, to measure whether this is within the tolerances or based on the spell out in the standard. So as you can see, we use the tools to check. Okay, these are the tools, the standard tools that we use to check. So every tools, there is the way how we used to check the so-called the element against the element, right? For spring level 1.2, we used to check the wall alignment, floor alignment, and also the floor lay to fall to the gradient, okay? To ensure there is a floor trap, the water must able to flow, right? L square to check the so-called wall at the right angles. Trapping rod is to check the tile leakage as well as the hollowness of the wall and floors. Angle mirror is to check the so-called the door top panes, top and bottom supposed to be paint finish. The wedge is actually to measure. This is the very important tools that we use to measure whether it is fall below or fall along the desirable tolerances or not. Of course, this is used to check with the alignments, alignments of the floor and walls. And steel gauge we use to check the gap between the so-called the door frame and the door leaf. The short spring level, okay, one is length 1.2 and this is 16 inches. This is to check the alignment of all our M&E fittings, which is most commonly is on the switches, switches. And measuring tape we just use as optional items. Okay, the next one is how to improve the quality mark. I feel these are the 6 items, the 6 core items that we need to look into it to ensure that at the end of the day we can improve and also can maintain the quality marks. Number 1, provide sufficient resources in terms of manpowers, quality training, as well employees with the competency evaluation. I believe this is a very important element, whereas I believe the people who are doing the job is supposed to be at least the basic knowledge of the so-called the quality requirements. Is supposed to be, he or she is supposed to be exposed to this quality requirement. At least you can understand better when they face the works, when they do the works in the ground. At least they can understand better how to construct and how to ensure that the works is done according to the standards. Promote suitable design and material. I believe this is more on the our respective so-called designers, which is architect, consultant, as well. Our selection of material is also very important. As you know, the quality is not just limited to the workmanship. It also covered and also covered by this design, the design suitabilities as well, the material that supposed to help to so-called to give a very so-called good desirable finishes. QRSIC to be part of contract and with penalty and system. So as I mentioned earlier, we need to spell out that is between the developer and the contractors. So we will spell out in the contract what is the so-called the penalty as well as the incentive. Prepare a MOCA unit as a benchmark. So these are very important things, okay, that we need to use the MOCA unit as our benchmark to evaluate, to construct and evaluate the other respective units. And of course, number 5, we have our monthly quality assessment. Every month we will go walk out to the site, okay, and then we will assess from the perspective from the structural works as well on the architecture work and other related works. And but last but not least, as I mentioned, the quality conformance training, okay, it's a briefing for the specialized construction works site personnel, subcontractors. Sometimes we may invite our suppliers and also the manufacturers, to join to have a so-called the briefing. The idea is basically everyone need to have a same understanding and everyone know what need to be done and what are the requirement and what are the things need to be included during the construction of that particular specialized construction works. Okay, this is some of the photos. This is our briefing, our internal briefing. This is how we do with our so-called our internal parties. We will invite all the site from the client representative, contractor representative, as well as subcontractors, suppliers, and also the manufacturers and so on. That is on the site level, yeah. This is on site level, and this is on the office level. Every quarterly, we will have our management review meeting, Okay, during this meeting, we will have our own sections, okay, in the HQ level, together with our senior management, so-called bosses. And how we monitor our quality, so-called our quality is done, and you also make sure that try to minimize those errors. So we use this app, so-called SAMO app eNCR system. Okay, we have developed this system with our partners. So whereas as our team went to the site, okay, when you go to the project site, if it's captured anything is majors, anything is not constructed according to the specifications, BQ drawings, okay, any major findings, they will use this app via from mobile as well from the desktop version, right? So they will raise this so-called eNCR. Okay, so one of the important the element, okay, one of the important here is the eNCR tools is actually used to ensure the quality of the works. The quality of works is never be compromised. Okay, never be compromised. We use this to these apps to actually to help us to record, you know, to ensure the contractor take so-called action. You know, the contractor take the action and also implement the corrective action if need to be ratified. Okay, then ratified, then they have to close the case. Okay, that is our some of the important things that I shared. That's what we are actually implementing in our organization. Probably here I would like to share a video how actually we do our internal so-called assessment. Okay, we will have our internal assessment. Sorry, let me on the
P, S or C. Just open. So you see,
can you hear, right?
last
Can
time
you
you
hear?
need to use to do a lot of writing, and now you don't need. You just
Okay,
open
can.
up. Whether
Yes.
it's a P, S or C, just open up this menu box here. They will tell you the things are all predetermined. Then one thing good is that whenever you start with the new forms, all this will be here. So whatever you don't need, example, this one got no component, you just need to delete out the component. So by default, the first time you tick on it, it's cross. The second time you tick on it, it will disappear. Okay. So example, if you, let's say you don't want to check on certain things, example window, so you just need to go like that. See, then this is the first time, it becomes a cross. The second time, it will disappear. Then third time, it will reappear again. That's the gist of it. But only thing is, whenever you go to a new page, you must save. If you don't save, the data all will be gone. This is the only thing by default. You need to save. So even when you save it, you close it, or even if the power shut down, the data is still there. Once you reboot back, the data is still there. So this is a good part. So that's why the safety factor is whenever we do up the scoring, we have to save the data. So whenever you do the scoring, you have to save. Then you move to the next page, save again.
Right. So that is how the assessment is conducted. Okay, using the tab system. I believe in our Classic site, we are using the tablet PC apps to do the assessment. Okay, this is another video, whereas you can see how do the assessment, physical assessment, the site.
Floor, even as joint, E-joint. First wall finishes, second wall E, then ceiling is finishes. Okay. After that, yeah, windows structure.
already meet him before.
Yeah, never met him before. Yeah.
Yes, okay, that is how they do the internal assessment, right? How they did the internal assessment in terms of flaw, the element of flaws, in terms of the hollowness, jointings, alignment, evenness, some of things. We have more, but I just pick up some of the important video here, all right, that I can share to all of you. Hope this can give you some insights how actually the assessment is conducted at the site. Okay, this is some of our classic assessment over the years. We have landed, we have high-rise projects, which is completed. The data is just for 2018 to 2022. So as you know, 2020 later, we don't have much data because of the pandemic. So we don't have any assessment at the site. So we are trying to maintain our quality assessment, okay, in terms of internal as well towards end of the classic assessment. So as you can see, this is some of our marks. So for year 2022, we have this project so-called 78%. Okay, this project is basically a Rumah Selangorku. It's an affordable type of homes. We managed to obtain 78%, and the latest is our project in PJ. We managed to obtain 82%, and our main contractor for this is Orange Beam. And for this 78%, Rumah Selangorku is our internal construction arm, Paramount Property Construction. And this 80% is from Northern side. Okay, this is our Northern team from Sungai Petani, Aman Jaya, Kedah. And this two project here is basically 2018 and 2019 is from our Cyber Jaya team, our Cyber Jaya projects, Superlink and also the Semidi 3, so-called Superlink and 3-story terrace houses. Okay, that is on QRC. Let me show you some Shashik achievement. Some of the projects 2019, 2020, 2022. So we are blessed. So-called we are trying to work very closely, okay, in terms of our internal as well our external CIDB. Thank God we managed to obtain 5-star rating for all our so-called these projects. This is our Glenmarie. The first one is 91%. It's on Glenmarie, our project in Glenmarie. And 2020, this is our Northern project. We managed to obtain 94%. And the latest is 2022, last year, is our Section 13, Edgewater. Is also 5-star rating. Yeah. Okay, so I think the last part of my presentation will be some of the quotes that I always emphasize. I always like to share to all of my colleagues internal as well. I would like to share to you all what Philip Crosby's philosophy was: do it right from the first time. Right? He had wrote a quote with two famous books. Okay, if you got guys, if any of you like to read the book, you can look for this book here, Quality Without Tears, and Quality is Very Free. Of course, the idea is to achieve zero defect. We try to our best to achieve zero defect, try to do a close one. The quality has been defined as by Mr. Gomez as a conformity to certain specification to set forth by management and some value or concept of goodness. So quality is free. It's not a gift, but it is a free. The utility things are what which is cost the money. So we do right from first time. I think end up we can have a very so-called comfort, so that we don't need to spend money to do a so-called more money on the replication works, so that we can minimize the errors at our projects as well. The products can be delivered within the desirable quality levels. Okay, so that's for me for today's section. So I hope I have shared some of the my insights, some thoughts to all of you. So thank you very much. So back to our moderator, Tuan Syed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tegu. I think he give a lot of thought and sharing the best practice from the perspective of the developer, Paramount. So I think in general, he shared the quality, the focus on the customer satisfaction. He also explained more on the process, how to gauge the quality, especially on the early stage of the tender stage until the complete the projects. So I think the best is he also shared the good practice, the photo, a lot of photo, how the good practice that can be implement or sharing by the industry later. So I think thank you, Mr. Diego.
Thank you very much,
All right.
Chai. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So our last speaker, Technologies Kumaran. He is a general manager at the Bina Initiative, Syamrat. He joined the Bina schedule in 2005 as planning manager and was involved project control services. In 2009, he has moved from the Bina schedule to the Bina Initiative to establish the architecture, engineering, and construction AEC solution team. So Technology Kumaran brings with him 28 years of experience, more on the project management, site processing, building information modeling, implementation and construction management platform, and also he have a great involved in major project around in the country and driving the adoption of the construction industry. So it include the Putrajaya development, KLCC Twin Tower, KLIA, and many other projects. So as the general manager, he provide end-to-end solutions covering all the stage of project management life cycle. With he's shown the value of the construction industry through the technology adoption and platform, especially increasing the productivity and efficiency. So without the further ado, I would like to welcome our last speaker, Mr. Technologies Kumaran.
Thank you, Tunshay.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe everyone can see my screen. And thank you
Yes.
for all the presenter, and also thank you very much to Cream for organizing this kind of session, which is very valuable to the construction industry. And I see the two speakers before me have showcased how they have achieved and practice QLASIC and the way they process and manage quality. So I come in between lunch and my slot, which is given, I think it's for about 45 minutes. Okay, so the theme for today is actually improving quality in construction industry. So I believe everyone can see my screen. So let me just a quick introduction about Bina Initiative. I'm Kumaran from Bina Initiative. So we focus very much into AEC, architecture, engineering, and construction. We believe so much that technology and process-driven platform would help to increase on the productivity and efficiency, specifically in the construction industry. And if you look at overall data, we are the second last industry that embark into technology before agriculture. Okay, so what we offer from Bina Initiative, we are very much into geospatial information system for construction, project and performance management, building information modeling, and then contract and document management, field management, and also facility management. This is just to put in a nutshell what we provide and offer to the industry. So I would like to just start with the challenges faced by the construction industry. It is not that nobody wants to adopt or embark into the technology, but there are challenges that they always face. So if you look at it first, project visibility. So they don't have visibility of what is the status of the project, regardless whether it's on site or in HQ or it's in the rural area. Okay, they don't have visibility. Second, skilled labor. This has always been there, and during pandemic, things has become bad to worse, and now things are coming back into play. So hopefully this we can recover. Third is low bid mindset. Is as always, let's go at the lowest price, let's win, and then we'll think about it later. And the moment they think about it later, it's always quality and safety. These are the two areas they always want to reduce it or optimize it in terms of managing the project. Defective building materials. Inspection and quality always happens at the finishes work, but we also have to ensure the defective of building material when they receive, where the manual process of receiving the material or the building material is also delaying or not able to ensure the quality of the building material. And then short project duration. Of course, everybody wants to build fast, sell fast, and then live in fast. So all this, because of the fast, we have very limited or short project duration. And unstructured data input. Yes, the challenge in the construction industry, you are collecting data, but the data could be collected on a manual process or a paper form or Excel or Word document. So this is called as unstructured data input. Then we also look at heavy administration works. The moment you build a high-rise, let's say, for example, 1,000 unit or 1,500 units, the moment that you need to manage all this information and the administration work itself is the biggest challenge, because not easy to manage 1,500 units and 1,500 purchaser to hand over this. And on top of that, this is only a delivery. We are also looking at the material supplier, the construction team, the customer service team. So all of these players and parties that come into the construction industry. And you're looking at enforced QA/QC standard. I think Chief Fauzi and Mr. Tiago have highlighted the enforcement of the QLASIC and the standard from the government body must take place. That's the only way we can improve this. And difficulty in tracing progress. Yes, due to the manual process, you won't be able to know that what is the progress of quality check, where is it, which floor, which area, so you're not able to trace that. And lastly, difficulty in managing contracts. The moment you have this in place, when it comes to issues of which defect or which quality is affecting, because of a multi-layer works that's involved by the different subcontractors, you need to manage the contracts precisely. Otherwise, that will eat up into your contingency sum or even your profit. Okay, so overall, this is the challenges faced by the construction industry. Actually, first, when we list this on the slide, there was about close to 20 different challenges, and it can be more. So we don't want to bore everybody with all the challenges. So we just pick up the top most, the 10 most challenges. So if you look at CIDB themselves as the Construction Industry Development Board, they have also came up and shown the statistical numbers. The estimated poor quality can range from 5% to 15% of the total construction cost. This analysis was done in 2016 for quality cost in Malaysian construction industry. So imagine that 5% to 15% from all the project value. We don't do any construction for 100,000 or 50,000 ringgit. So definitely it's going in millions. So if you look at the savings and also the what do you call amount that has been spent on the poor work quality itself, if technology can embark, or if process can be embarked, or even a proper standards, that itself will save or bring this back into the profit. So you're not going to be spending additional money in terms of making sure the quality has been controlled, but you are taking from the saving and spending on this. Okay. So let's touch on the quality specifically, where the technology adaptation to improve the quality. So most of the time, if you look at it, yes, technology. So, but what, where, how? So if you look at it first, we have to start from planning and scheduling. When the planning takes place, quality must be input or incorporated into the plan. Most of the time you will see there will be a structural work, there will be a foundation work, structural work, architectural work, M&E works, but these are the trade-off works. But when it comes to procurement, when it comes to building material, when it comes to quality, there's no activity in the schedule. So this must be incorporated. Number two, we need to look at a dashboard to provide project visibility in terms of how many inspection has been done today. What is the time for them to from the lodging of defect until the rectification work is completed, and then where are the construction defects that already taken place during the construction stage. All of this should be shown and accessible through a dashboard. Then you're looking at digitization of inspection forms. Most of the works has been done through a paper, which is hard copy, and then you have to manually do inspection, and at the same time you're also taking photographs and attaching with this hard copy, and this entire thing delay the process of identifying the defect, rectifying the defect, and this process itself is really stretching the time too much. And mobile application, of course, now today is like everybody carrying our IC or identity card. Definitely everybody carries a mobile phone. So if you have a technology that not extended or enhanced the mobile application, the technology does not bring value to any industry. So specifically for construction, since you're going to be working on site, you have to have a mobile phone where it is embedded with this technology to improve the quality. And lastly, the site layout digitalization. Of course, when you do inspection, you also have to think and remember what was the layout of this building or the units or this infrastructure. So when it comes to the site layout digitalization or even the quality improvement, not referring only to high-rise project, it's also involved for the infrastructure project. That means we have also brought this technology into highway project, rail project, and also tunneling project. Okay, so these are the 5 key on the quality, and the last one is document management. Okay, so because once you have technology in place, once you have checkings, inspections and drawings and all of this in place, you will have tons of documents, tons of data. Eventually then you would do not know where did you keep it, who have it, and what is the status of it. Okay, so these are the 6 key technology adaptation for the quality. So just let me just take through which are these areas. So because I'm not going to bog with so much of detailed information, I have taken a key screenshot of technology and also what it outlines so that you are able to understand and grab this. So anytime after this, anyone, the attendees can contact us. We can always provide a case-based presentation and demo. So this outlines the scope of work, resource required, and the timeline for the completion. So the activities is been taken care, and also the duration and also the critical path. Second is the dashboard. This provides visibility in terms of what is the highest defect that is being done in construction in my particular project, and who is responsible for this. Is it subcontractor A, subcontractor B, subcontractor C? And then what is the time taken for them to identify the defect, rectify the defect by the contractor, and also closing the defect by the lodger. So how long this has been taken. So that can be traced real time from a dashboard example like what I'm showing on the screen. Okay, so this also will give you performance and also trend analysis in terms of which subcontractor you should not be engaging in future. And at the same time, this also set what kind of material that also causing the challenge in terms of quality. Third, the digitization of forms. So if you look at the inspection forms, it is very straightforward, and the same forms has been used for many years, but this was not taken into the digital platform. So what technology allows you to do, you can take this on a digital platform on your mobile phone itself. You are able to do the check, whether it's compliance, non-compliance, and also supported by the document, which is the photographs, and even the method statement can be attached together so that you know that this is how it's supposed to be constructed, and this is where the issue in terms of the quality. Okay, so this shift is being driven by the needs of increased efficiency, accuracy, and accessibility in the inspection process throughout. So when you build 1,500 or even 1,000 units, you don't need maximum number of 3 to 4 inspectors or site supervisors or engineers to go to every single unit to inspect. And then they need to be carrying drawings, the layouts, or paper form with the hard copy file. So you don't have to do that. And mobile application, of course, with the mobile application, you have ease of access, and also you don't have to go back to the site office or to the HQ or to the engineers to get it signed off. So you can have your mobile phone itself with the digital signature embedded to it. And of course, this technology can be improved or enhanced further with the QR codes, which you don't even have to think or remember a lot of information straight away. With the QR code tag in the units or at that area, you're able to just read from the QR code from the scanning, you're able to see what is the detail of this layout, drawings, and the project and the units information. So of course, you can enhance to the NFC tags to store and access information on the assets and the personnel with the near field communications, and GPS geolocation tagging. So this is another important field that the world is looking at, where people wants to know where it is, where you are. Like all of us, with the moment we start to drive, we will use Waze or maps to check what is the traffic and what is our route, clear or not. So GIS or geospatial information system has become a day-to-day needs and important now. So that's where the geolocations comes in, which is already embedded into technologies platform. And the last second part is actually the site layout. So each of these drawings is already in AutoCAD files. All we need to do, just bring it on a PDF format, just to be uploaded so that it will be light and easy for the users to use this on their mobile phone. And finally, the document management. So you can look at a lot of documents, but you are not able to streamline the operations or even improve the collaboration and provide a competitive advantage, because there's a lot of documents everywhere. Even when you use our emails, we hardly find the email that we want to at that point of time. Okay, so these are the 6 different areas of technology piece that you should be utilizing in order to improve quality for the construction industry. So how does this fit into the overall project development lifecycle? So we call this as a construction tech ecosystem. So if you look at the project development lifecycle all the way from the design stage all the way up to the operations and maintenance, we can have different piece of modules or platform or technology in order to address and enhance the productivity and efficiency. So if you look at quality, today's session is very much focused into quality. So I'm just going to touch on the quality specifically. So you will be able to manage inspections, the quality forms, the checklist, the defects itself, and the rectification process, plus the time taken, plus handing over and commissioning. So when I touch on handing over, it is actually from the main contractor handing over to the developer, and the developer handing over to the homeowners. Okay, and if it's infrastructure, then the main contractor to the operators or concessionaires, and the concessionaires have to use this data for the lifecycle management. So of course, on the same platform, you can enhance later for the safety portion, where you can manage safety, workforce, where you can manage the manpowers, activity, where you can manage your activities or tasks, and then reports, where you are looking at your daily reports in terms of weather, manpower, machineries, and material that you can manage, that is called under reports. And finally, you can look at the maintenance module. So all of this sits on a single platform, real-time access, and enhanced with the enabled with mobile technology. Okay. So this, whatever the 6 different modules that we are touching here, it also can be enhanced further through an integration and collaboration, where you can look at HR systems, payroll, finance system, and equipments with IoT, AI cameras, and thermal scanners. All of this can be incorporated. All this brings value, because most of the time people look at quality always as the workman doing plastering, doing painting. No, it has to go back to the source of material, source of execution, source of method of statement. So all of these come into play. And of course, you can do seamless integration with any of these platform currently, like if you already embark into BIM. So the BIM 360 or Autodesk BIM 360 platform can push or pull the 3D model, where the quality check can be done on top of the model itself. And you can have like a Procore, Oracle. These are all the other construction platforms that can be used for integration. And if you look at it, of course, first of all, people will be asking, oh, yes, I'm working at the basement. I don't have connectivity. How do I work then? So the technology platform currently, since it's already running mobile, it's already have the offline mode application, and you are able to use this through your iOS and also your Google Play. So with these 2 devices or operating system that's in place, you are able to download and then have an access to this platform or tools. Then you can start to use this. Okay. And if you look at it, of course, people, once you already have quality control, quality check, you already have tools in place, then you'll be thinking, I have a lot of data. What am I supposed to do with this data? So this is where the artificial intelligence comes in, where people already moving towards machine learning process, where first you define the process. This is where currently everyone is in. And then you automate the process so that you know that when you do inspection, when you do quality check, when you do construction, all of these can be automated in terms of process, which you don't have to remember. Is my activity A has been completed, then only I can proceed with activity 2. The tools itself will take you through this process. Okay, and then from this process automation, which will improve productivity because you are already collecting the data, then you can also do descriptive analytics, describe what has happened. So this gives you in terms of descriptive and predictive. These two analytics providing you the insight of where is the defect, what caused this defect, how much time it is taken, where is the quality issues, the root cause of it. So you're able to look at from the descriptive and predictive. And when you look at prescriptive analytics, it is where a recommendation what can be done through the machine learning process. So any technology or platform that you embark now, they all are building towards machine learning so that it's ease of use. One day it is like people are all thinking robots and autonomous construction are going to take over humans construction. Whatever it is, humans involvement is still needed. But this is where the future is moving towards artificial intelligence. And once you already collecting all this data, there is a power with all this existing data, which you will have a dashboard that you are able to analyze in terms of where it is and when it is happened, who is sitting on this information, who have delayed in terms of inspection, who have delayed in terms of rectification works. You are able to analyze this from a single platform. Okay, so this is called as Insight dashboards. So dashboards are many dashboards. So the Insight will provide you a key performance indicators information to know that which particular package or trade or works impacting or contributing towards the delay and how can be recovered, and which contractor or subcontractor and which tool or material is also contributing towards the delay. So these are the insights from the dashboards, where you can see the users to monitor, track, and analyze the KPI and other important metrics. Okay, so this is the Insight dashboard. And of course, it is not that we are just introducing some technologies from outside where we don't have a local content or local user. So from our past experience since 2009, that Bina initiative we have started. So we have worked with multiple developers, main contractors, and also operators and service provider. Okay, so these are some of the key, because we don't want to put a lengthy customers list and also take everyone's time. So we have captured the key developers and key contractors here. And if you look at why digitization, so most of the time people will be thinking, okay, so since I use Excel, that's already part and parcel of automated process or digitalization. But what happened here? There must be objective of why you should be embarking into technology to digitize. First of all, you can enforce high quality standards. Whether it's a QLASIC or non-QLASIC project, you need to look at how the standards been utilized, how people are referring to the standards, and it's not only when CREAM team is coming for inspection or someone is coming for inspection, that's where we go and dig out where is the standard. No, you should have the standards with you all time. That with the technology, you can do that. So first is enforce high quality standards. Second, to reduce cost of rework. Everybody, when we look at technology, people will be thinking, yeah, but Malaysia is labor intensive. So then why do we worry about rework? So the moment there is any defects or any reworks, I just can deploy my resources and workers to go and do that immediately. So it is not about that. It's about the time has taken, and also the money has been spent on rework is far superior compared to what you can optimize and save. So the reduced cost of reworks, that's where technology is coming in. I'll be also showing one of the slides that CIDB themselves have looked at how technology going to improve construction as a whole. And third is boost customer satisfaction. So all the attendees today in the webinar, I'm sure that one or another have owned or will be owning a home or units or condo or landed property. So definitely we want to have or we want to own, or we want to live in a quality area. We don't want to move into a units and we're thinking, when is crack going to really get wider? When is this roof going to fall? So we don't want to live or even have a piece of sleep during that time. So for that, the customer satisfaction is the most important. Any homeowners or any what do you call purchaser that taking up any of these units or any properties, they must have satisfaction that they can tell, my friend, you next time if you want to purchase any what do you call condos or what, you should go to this developer A, because I looked at it, the quality is so good that I'm living in, I don't have any headaches of leakage or cracks that I'm not happy about. Because most of us, including myself, we have experienced, if we go back to our parents' time, the house that they live in can be there for 30-40 years, there's no issues. But nowadays, when you look at it, the moment we hit the 10 years or 15 years, there will be some hairline cracks coming from somewhere. Okay, so that will also touch on the customer satisfaction. And this, the fourth point, is improved visibility. By having this data on a platform with technology and mobile enabled, it gives you visibility. And I don't have to ask people, what is the update, where it is, have you completed, what is the number of units has been handed over, how many keys has been handed over. You don't have to do all that, because the visibility is real time. Because it's on a platform and a cloud-based technology, you have real-time access and you can access from anywhere. Okay, that is the key for digitization. And just before we end, I would like to just touch how this digitalization improve overall as the construction. So if you look at construction revolution 4.0, the world is moving to IR 4.0, where CIDB have looked at it specifically, which are the areas. So there's about 12 different domains or what you call a process that need to be embarked and practiced and also utilized in construction industry to improve. I've captured the key 10 here. So if you look at it, number one is actually prefabrication and modular construction. Due to the construction time frame and the need for the readiness, it's shorter. The modular or prefabrications construction come into play, where CREAM and CIDB working hand in hand to also look at how the scoring for the prefab is coming into play. So that can be automated. And then number two, advanced building material. So you're looking at the manufacturing just now. So now you're looking at advanced building materials is used, which will help in terms of the sustainability. And then point number three, we are looking at 3D printing and additive manufacturing. This is also has been showcased by CIDB and CREAM. So they have already started on this. This also will expedite in terms of time and also improve in terms of quality. And number four, people are always moving towards autonomous construction, where you have robots and drone to help in terms of feeding data and also providing or processing or proceeding with the construction sequences. And number five, you are looking at augmented reality and virtualization. This is where the AR or even VR come into play, where before even the physical construction takes place, the user or even the project players are able to visualize using AR, like your Google Glass or spectacles in terms of visualizing it. And also nowadays people are looking at what you call as the AR room, where you can just walk into the room as though that you already in the digital model and walking like the video games actually. So that's item number 5. And number 6 is big data and predictive analytics, which I've also touched. The moment you move into artificial intelligence, machine learning, you already have big data and you're able to do predictive analytics. And number 7, you're looking at wireless monitoring and connected equipments. So it is all about feeding information, how this information is fed, whether it's a manual process or through automated. So through the automated process, the wireless monitoring and connected equipments come into play, meaning to say even your excavator also has signals to send across to a centralized place where you can pick up these signals to look at how much earth has been cut, how much has been filled. So this is where the connected equipments come into play. And number 8, we are looking at, sorry. So we are looking at cloud and real-time collaboration. This is where environment comes into play and technology, final piece come into play, because everyone cannot own a big group of IT people, have a server rack, server rooms, you need to invest in hardware, and then day and night, these IT people have to be working, and then you do not know whether it is up and running, how much of downtime. So all of this is taken totally out from the equation. That's where the cloud computing and cloud environment comes in to provide you the real-time collaboration. And the ninth is actually 3D scanning and photogrammetry. You're already looking at not only new construction, the existing construction or constructed building to be refurbished or rehab. So when you're looking at that, you need to have a 3D scanning or even a photogrammetry data. So not about rebuilding, also for the progress evaluation and progress validations. Okay, you can use the 3D scanning and photogrammetry. And then, of course, everybody, I'm very sure as a contractor, whoever have attended today's session will know building information modeling, BIM, because every now and then any tenders that we see, BIM has become a part and parcel, and CIDB have taken a very good approach of driving this adoption since 2012. And BIM is part and parcel going to be helping in terms of managing quality too. Okay, so this is the 10 areas, and another 2, it's more into the machine learning and also blockchain. So this will be my final slide. I think I've just want to make sure that we all conclude before lunch smoothly. So government initiatives into the QLASIC assessment itself, there are 4 key areas that it's been touched. One is enable you to benchmark the quality of workmanship of the construction project. Most of the time people are just looking at, oh yeah, we need to get this scoring, but eventually this will become a habit and the construction process will be executed with a certain standard. So we need to enable that. That is where the QLASIC process comes in, number 1. Number 2, enhance quality control in the construction work itself. So the moment you already touching in terms of the quality, automatically the safety factors, the human who's working, and the environment of the workplace, each also will be addressed indirectly. So that is the second point. Number 3, provides you a standard quality assessment system on quality of workmanship of construction works. So more and more awareness for the public, where people wants to buy only the units or the property of with the QLASIC assessment being done. So this has to start in Malaysia. This will give you more value actually, because all of us will be owning any of these properties. And then lastly, specified as a quality criterion for contractors' performance scorecards. This also gives the competitive edge for each of the contractor to perform in a better way to provide the best in the class to the industry. Okay, so this is the government initiative. So thank you very much. I think that's all from my side. I'm able to chase the time to cover back our time loss of the technical problem at the early stage. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Technologist Kumaran, in sharing his experience on the technology adoption, especially on the monitoring, progress quality check. So I think the first, the keyword that I capture from his presentation is digitalization. So he start with the challenging of the faced by the construction industry, and I think the initiative can provide the solution, one of a solution through the technology. Okay, I think we start with thank you, Mr. Technology Kumaran. So I think we will start with our next session, Q&A session. So all participants, if you have any question related to our topic today, you can type in our chat box. So maybe I can start first question. Okay, my first question for the Tuan Haji Muhammad Fauzi. So during your presentation, you have said about the design. So based on the design, because design will reflect to the architecture. So either the design can impact the QLASIC or quality assessment score. Please, Haji.
Okay. Thank you, Tuan Syed. Yeah, it's true. Just what I said in my presentation that designs, especially because design for the RC works, that one cannot be done anything because we won't access in the QR6 because for the RC design, the main criteria is for the strength and also in the integrity, so that we have cannot comply on that. So everyone had to comply. But come to the architecture, I think it's true because based on our experience, projects like school, all these things, very quite tough to score on the QRC. I think one of the reason might be because not much ID works. No, if let's say you go to the office, what like training center that you done, and then there's an ID works. No, that one can cover some of the weaknesses in on other parts. No, that I think one of the reasons lah. Then the other thing, so the design impacts because we had to look on the buildability of the design. No, because sometimes just make it easy to design. Sometimes the designer, they just want to maintain their trademarks, no, because all their building must have like this kind of shape, no. But in terms of to make it happen, it's quite hard. It's quite hard unless let's say you have only one unit of houses, where you need a very special skill of workers to come and do. Just one example I could because sometimes in one of the projects in the office, there are few pillars, a round shape, no. When come to round shape, when there is a carpet, it's quite easy. No, maybe for carpet quite easy. Like if there is tile or timber flooring, to cut to follow the shape at the base of the pillars, very difficult lah. So that's where we may lose certain points lah. The other things aspects are more on like the color, color chosen. I can say I have for example in the last assessment projects, I can see the color, some color that the designer choose are very attractive. That one also not to say lah can blind the assessor. Those who choose a very attractive colors can score higher than the dull one. So that's why I look at it, the design play an important role also lah. That's why in Singapore, when we visited the CLP last time, I visited 8 projects. All 8 projects they have the same color, white color for wall and ceiling. All 8 because they maybe I asked them why you all choose all the same color, white only, because they said this house 450,000 Sing dollar or this thing. I think they have money, so they want to color put in the colors because the other reason actually say if you say white and white you cannot see what problem in jointing. So that the assessor so won't see the problem in jointing. If let's say you had 2 different color, ceiling and wall, you can see if let's say the line not so straight, immediately assessor can cross immediately. So that's why I think design is very important aspect in QRC. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you Tuan Haji Fauzi. So I think beside of the design, I think maybe this question for Mr. Tiago. When we talk about the design, we will face about the structure assessment. So based on your experience, because as we know previously, CIS 7 2014, it is already mentioned about the structure, but the latest one 2021 they have removed the structure assessment. So based on your experience and what do you think about the structure assessment? Any reference or guidance for the Paramount practice currently?
All right, thank you, Chair Syed. All right, to answer your questions, what happened here is previously we have actually referred to so-called 2014. 2014 standards actually is spelled out on this structural assessment. But of course, from CIDB CREAM side, we actually didn't do any assessment, okay, the industries, but they only covered on the so-called architectural. But what we have did, we have actually picked up some of the data, okay, from the standard, some of the data. Then we did some own internal fine tuning, okay, probably like we add on some of the information in. Means it's not limited. For example, like based on the previous standard, under the structural, they have reinforcement, so-called formworks and finished concrete. So what we did that we zoom in a bit detail we did our internal so-called discussion, and then we zoom in a bit detail, see what are the core problems, what are the common defects occurs at the site, okay, that we encountered during the so-called our assessment. You know, we go a bit detailed. So what we did, we summarize, right? We summarize, and then we prepare our own checklist, you know, and we use that checklist to do our assessments. With that, I believe we can we can minimize, we can prevent, you know, the so-called the structural defects. So some of the weightage that is allocated inside the CIS standard 2014, we also have did some adjustment to suit on our site activities, especially on the structural works. So this is what we have done, and I believe throughout the years and in our organization, we use this assessment, structural assessment. Then we carry out, and so far I think it works quite well, and we can see the improvement in terms of finished concrete, in terms of laying rebars, fabricating rebars, reinforcements, as well fabricating the formworks. Doesn't been compromised much. It been improved over the years. So that's how we do in our organizations.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tiago. So maybe the next question, I think when we talk about this technology, adoption of technology, as we know, it will, of course, about the investment. So when you say about the technology, software, hardware, I think, what do you think about in terms of the cost investment for the system?
Thank you,
Technology, Mr. Kumaran, yeah.
Thank you, Joshua.
Okay.
I think this is the common question I think everybody will ask also, right, when it comes to a platform and technology. But if you look at how the paradigm shift has happened in construction with technology, where BIM, when it came to play, right?
Yeah.
And also when you look at site digitization, it can today, right, it can range from 10,000 ringgit all the way up to 70, 80,000 ringgit per project. So you can always look at it because there's a lot of multiple choices of technology. But the most important, right, most of the time, whenever whoever attended this kind of webinars or even they attend seminars, right, they straight away think that, oh, I think technology going to do some magic for me. So I want to go and just get some software, get trained, and expect the staff to deliver. They forgot to realize there is a process behind it that is the most important for this technology piece to work. It's same like mobile phone. People can say, I call in, call out, message. But the process is the most important, right? So the range can be from 10,000 up to even 70, 80,000. But the objective, whenever they choose the technology, they must define what's my objective of taking this technology. I should achieve one at least in place. Then you should embark or upscale into the other features or functionality in order to achieve more values.
Okay, thank you, Technologist Kumaran. So we have one question, I think for Tuan Haji Fauzi. In awarding a contractor, I think maybe both Tuan Haji Fauzi or Mr. Tiago. In awarding a contractor, how do you balance out the budget and their capability to achieve the desired quality in a project? Since I believe in Malaysia, quality might not be the winning factor in the awarding a contractor. But during the construction work, we expect them to achieve our desired quality, although we know they might not be capable, financial and contractual. Maybe I pass to Haji Fauzi first.
It's very interesting question, and then this one I definitely answer also for because it's true, no, in Malaysia, always the factor, the lowest quotation will get it done, no. Then this is a challenge for the supervision staff, no, that we on our parts, we have to play our role. But it's true also, even though if let's say some business partners or contractor, maybe they have the names already, quite reputable contractor, But the thing here, if let's say they have so many projects also, maybe they may bring the workers that who are not competent. Okay, that's why no matter what, our own supervision must be strengthened, have to be strict control. So we have to make sure that our supervision team are competent. That's I think my view lah on this. It's true. No matter what, normally those who score high QLASIK also not guaranteed to get a job. Not like in Singapore different. No? They put the criteria. Their Concourse score is one of the criteria for the tender. Okay. Yeah, Tiago, maybe you want to add something?
Maybe Mr. Tiago, because he select the contractor.
Yeah, okay. To add on, I think it's quite lengthy kind of question here.
Yeah.
Let me just come what actually I can share here. That what we are doing now is okay. As I mentioned in my slide, this should be actually started way before I think during the standard stages. Whereas what we do is actually, of course, we select the contractor with the background of not only in terms of quality, of course, in terms of their performance, in terms of timely deliver, in terms of their resources, policies. So what we normally will do is, I believe every contractors who tender the job, if they know that the client is imposing the so-called quality assessment system in their contract, I believe they will price in. I believe they will budget in. So once the budget is there, okay, I believe the contractor with no-do, I think they will undertake the job and they have to work along with the so-called the quality assessment, the quality assessment system, which they're supposed to make sure that they have to achieve the minimum benchmark that what set for inside the contract. So I think everything is talking about dollar and cents lah. It doesn't mean that I pay you less, then you have to compromise the quality. It's still, I think as a contractor, the builder still need to do their best. But on top of it, if let's say QLASIK or any other quality assessments is in place inside the contract, once it's binded, I believe the contractor have to work along and work to achieve that so-called the quality criteria as well as assessment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's my point of view.
Okay.
From my perspective, what actually we are encountered and what we've been seeing in our group lah or companies.
Thank you. Any views from Technologies Kumaran about this?
Yes, Cheshire. I also wanted to share. I think our culture and the way people look at policies in place, right? It has become practice that they just wait for someone to enforce and impose, then only they want to do, because there never been a practice. Because by right, if you look at it, it is not that you're going to spend additional money in the long run. At the first project, yes, you're going to spend money because you are putting some process and policies in place, which may take time and money, right? But the moment you move into the project number 3, project number 4, this should become a habit for them to achieve this and deliver. So the moment they don't take this as a habit, oh, this project, there's a requirement. So team A, you work on here. This project, there's a requirement. Okay, team B, you have done QLASIK. Okay, you work here. That's where the distortion of the quality and standard from the branding is taken out, actually.
Okay, thank you, Technologies Kumaran. So we have another question. Maybe you would like to ask about opinion from the contractor perspective. Under the CI7, they have a sampling. Do you think this sampling is maximum or still minimum or how? Tuan Haji Fauzi.
I think the question they're asking is
the
the
number
number
of samples.
too much. I think maybe that one for the residential, right? For the residential, it's 600 and 700.
Yes.
Like samples, and then for the commercial, it's about 100 and 150 for category C and D, right? Actually, if let's say to reflect in terms of statistics, to reflect the actual what findings, I think the more the better. Okay, the more the better. That's why sometimes I don't know. Actually, for the commercial, category C and D. Only 100 and 150 samples.
Yeah.
For me, that one is quite low lah. Quite low.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if let's say you have one project, just like us last time, one project actually consists of 10 blocks. No, if let's say just take 100 sample, that means per block just take 10 sample. Does not reflect something. It may not reflect because the sample, so you have to choose the right sample. So if I say for the residential 600 and 700, for the time being, I think still okay lah. The maximum 700, because the more, I mean, the better lah. Okay, it can
Okay.
reflect the actual.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Tuan Haji Fauzin. So, I have one question about this. About the material. So I think for the Mr. Tiago, this question is for Mr. Tiago. How does your company, your practice in your company, in terms to verify material and supplier are installed incorrect? Because as we know, the CI7 is focusing on the workmanship. How you can relate between the workmanship and material? Okay, please.
Okay, thanks, Tuan Syed. Okay, in terms of materials, what we do is actually our practice is like we will do if the materials involving some so-called factory visits or company visits, we will of course we will initiate, okay, together with our project team. We will go down to the factories. Right, we will have so-called screen through their processes in the factories. For instance, like aluminium window frames, glazings. So we will go down. We will go down to the site, the yard or the factories. We will check. We will just screen through their so-called right from beginning. Okay, right from beginning, start of productions. Right from production, their quality controls, as well their testing and inspection plans. We will look into every several angles lah. We try to not to miss anything. We will try to read. So normally we will start from there. So once we start from there, then of course we will have at the site level, we will have our so-called sample boards, and then so-called material once delivered to site, our team will have so-called random inspections, check the materials as what like I believe earlier during Fauzi's slides, I think one of the slides show that how they actually do conduct the process of checking on the material delivered to site. So we will do a random inspections. Okay, we will pick up, we will make sure that that material delivered to site is actually similar that what has been approved inside the sample board as well. During the visit or so on. If there is any things that we found the material doesn't match or doesn't comply with the the approval, then we will do a so-called a gap analysis. If we find any inconsistencies in terms of the material, we will do some gap analysis. Of course, at the same time, we will get our architect or the consultants, to attend to these things. Of course, if the material is not compliant, the first and foremost, our site levels, they will reject the materials, in order to let the contractors to use or so on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tegu. I think I have one question to Technologies Kumaran. When we talk about the adoption of technology, if there any limitation in terms of technology, because previously we have some study on the checking quality through our early stage of study using the robotic. But I think still have need to be improved time to time. What do you think about this technology adoption? If there any limitation?
Thank you, Tuan Syed.
All right.
I think for every technology, there is a limitation at that particular time of era of what is available. So for example, right, if we go back to the most commonly used, our mobile phone, nobody could have thought without a keypad, with our fingers, we can still touch on a number digitally and it will reflect and do something, right? So at that point of time, that technology piece, even the manufacturing of IC board was not so advanced. But today, we don't have mainframes as big as a room or even a desktop computer, which on a bigger size compared to what we have now, right? So there is a limitation based on what is available, that because this is a total supply chain. Technology piece is coming from someone's thought of having this in place, and the supply chain goes into someone develop this, someone configures, someone programs it, right? So that's completely its manufacturing, implementation, and also customization. So if you look at it at that particular time, there are limitations. And another thing is, even there's a technology available outside of Malaysia, for example, we don't have local expertise to support this technology piece when we bring in. So that's also a limitation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Technologist Kumaran. So I have a question from our participant to Haji Fauzi. How do you organization control on the complete and access area in terms of protection measure to the completed area or trade so that they won't be damaged by the others? Who should bear the cost for the protection material, and they go be spelled out during the tender stage?
Yes, I think what you mentioned is correct. Actually, we should during the tender should be included protection in the tender, so that those who are doing the job, they have to include the protection cost. Okay, and then the other thing, so for certain project, especially on the residential, we impose what are the lockup or lockdown systems lah. Once the thing be completed, we try to lock up the units now, so that we can control the access. At least we know who is the culprit that who damage. Sometimes the protection also being damaged. So that we have to make sure on that.
Okay, thank you to Haji. I think our last question also to Haji Fauzi. How do you manage your subcon to ensure the subcontractor implement do it right the first time? Because Sunway Construction, you have a lot of subcontractor. So I think maybe you can give some experience or best practice that you manage in your organization.
Yeah, actually, what we had done, like I mentioned in my slides, actually the QCAS, and also quality induction. So we do that one, progressively, because even though sometimes certain trades, the subcontractors may have a different gang. So every time every gang come in, we will do the QCAS trainings. Okay, we do QCAS training, and then our own assessment from the HQ. We will go there at the moment quarterly. Last time every month, but it's now so many projects. We do quarterly, then we will give feedback. So on top of that, there's on an ad hoc site walk also by our top management. Say even our top management, our MD, our deputy MD, also they walk the sites. And then if I see any quality issues, they will highlight to the project, the person in charge at the project, or to myself. Then on our side, we will investigate, and then we will make sure the subcon have to do it right to make it correct. And then we share the information throughout the companies now. What are the good practices, or what are the things that need to be avoided? So that's one way that we want to ensure that we standardize the practices throughout the company.
Okay, thank you to Haji Fauzi. So I think we already end our session. So I would like, as moderator, I would like to thank to Haji Fauzi Hanafia, Mr. Tiago, and also Technologist Kumaran. So thank you for your commitment today. So I will pass it back to Miss Technologist Intan Diana.
Thank you, Project.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right. Okay, Intan, please.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Technology Site Hasni, and our three speakers. For your information, we will share the slides with all of you via email. So make sure you check your email, usually around after about five working days. we can send you the slides and also the certificates. And we're really sorry again for the mishap in the beginning of the webinar. So before we end the webinar, allow me to share with you our upcoming events. Next month, on the 14th to 15th March, we will have the biggest construction conference yet this year, the First Digital Construction Summit 2023, which is hosted by CIDB Malaysia and organized by CREAM. The DCS 2023 will bring together the most important industry players to discuss how digital technologies can change the game and accelerate the development of the construction industry. So there's still a chance for you to get your tickets. So you can scan the QR code on the screen to register. Also to stay updated on our upcoming webinars or other events, you can visit our website at www.cream.my and follow our social media. Okay, so before we leave, let's have a very quick photo session for memory keeping. So we will appreciate if everyone can turn on their cameras and get ready for the photo shoot. Give me 1 minute to allow everybody to turn on their camera, okay? Okay, can you guys try and turn on your camera? Okay. Okay, ready? Okay. All right, smile everyone. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, last one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is a recording session, so we will also upload the recording on our YouTube channel. So do look for us on the YouTube channel, Construction Research Institute of Malaysia, if you want to, look back and get all the information if you miss anything. So again, thank you so much to our moderator, Technologist Syed Hazni, our speakers, Encik Muhammad Fauzi, Technologist Tiago, and also Technologist
Welcome.
Kumaran for your time. Thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good day,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you, bye bye.
Thank you.
Kumaran,
Okay.
Tiago, and
Thanks.
Taji.
Okay,
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay.